restoration as well as just working on cars, making stuff fast, making stuff cool. It's kind of calming.
Riley Kennedy should be getting ready for school, but he probably won't get there today.
How's it going?
Yeah, not bad. I don't fit in a classroom.
It's looking good.
I need to be hands-on. It's a lot better for me to do the task rather than be told how to do it.
Riley liked primary school, but in high school he's struggled with classroom expectations.
And I wasn't going to school anymore and eager to learn. They told me school doesn't work for you.
What does a VG look like?
Riley's mum, Brooke Sheeble, is a teacher and decided to homeschool him for 2 years while his twin brother Harrison continued at high school.
He wanted to get out of bed in the morning and do things as opposed to trying to get him out of bed to go to school. He was just a much happier kid.
But Riley is now back at school in Year 11 and his attendance is sporadic. He and his brother are planning to leave soon to take up apprenticeships.
I know that that's where they should be. They're learning, but they're hands-on doing, something they want to do for the rest of their life.
In 2023, 69% of Year 10 students in Tasmania continued to Year 12. That's about 10% less than the national average retention rate. And the percentage of kids getting their Year 12 certificate was even lower, only 53% in 2022. That's the second lowest in the country after the Northern Territory.
It's failing a significant proportion of Tasmanian students and their families.
The data's not where we want it to be. I absolutely accept that. We also have children who are at that age who are also going into vet courses. We don't measure that in the data. We have children who are going and getting wonderful apprenticeships. We don't measure that in the data.
Economist Saul Eslake is part of a group pushing for better educational outcomes in the state. He points to the college system as one big hurdle to Year 12 completion.
In Tasmania, students tend to think that school stops at Year 10 because their school stops at Year 10.
Traditionally, that has been the case for public high schools, meaning teenagers had to attend a separate college in one of the major towns or cities for Years 11 and 12.
It means that for students who do make the transition from high school that stops at Year 10 to Years 11 and 12, they lose contact with the teachers and support staff who've got to know them over their 4 years in high school.
The Liberal government overhauled the system 10 years ago, extending public high schools for another 2 years.
That sadly too many kids are leaving school too early.
But they stopped short of abolishing the public colleges, leading to a dual system, and retention rates have barely moved.
The problem has been that the more motivated and capable academically students have continued to go to the colleges, and the students who have done Year 11 and 12 at their local high schools, many of them have struggled. The range of courses on offer at their local high schools has often been limited.
Tasmania's Education Minister says the dual system is working.
I don't think it's perfect. I think there's still areas that we can iron out and make it smoother. We're trying to offer choice here.
The ACT has a similar college system and good educational outcomes, but Tasmania is more regional and has more economic and social disadvantage.
Students' family background, their parents' education and wealth, occupations is so directly linked to their achievement in school and also attendance in school.
Recent NAPLAN results show Tasmanian students are struggling below the national averages in literacy and numeracy well before they get to college. As a former teacher, Brooke Sheeble says she's seen firsthand the issues with the state's education system.
I just feel like the curriculum needs a complete overhaul. You don't have the time and the support in the classroom to ensure that every child meets those expectations. It's awful watching kids fall behind, knowing that you know what they need, but you don't physically have the time or the resources to make it happen for them.
I think the issue is that we are putting more and more and more onto our teachers and onto our schools. At some point, you've got to take stuff away if you're going to keep putting that in.
The state government has commissioned an independent review of Tasmania's education system. It'll look at attainment, retention and educational outcomes, as well as supporting teachers and policy implementation. A report is due by the end of the year. How much are we going to get out of this review? It's a short time frame with very broad terms of reference.
I'm not looking for a 3-year review. I don't want that. And a lot of people in the education space also don't want that. So I wanted something that was going to give me as a new minister some answers to some specific questions in a short time frame.
Educational leadership expert Professor Pasi Sahlberg believes the education problems aren't limited to Tasmania.
The problem is this kind of a unification or standardisation of schooling rather than personalising and customising education, especially in the later years of schooling.
Some public high schools are already offering personalised learning.
I would say I'm a hands-on learner and I learn by talking to people and listening. I felt a little bit pushed to the back in the mainstream schooling.
Alira Chalker joined Big Picture, a program combining academic work with traineeships and other courses in Year 9.
I'm the one that gets to organise my day and I'm the one that gets to learn the way I want to learn.
Alira is passionate about helping people and wants to study social work. Like most of the students here, the Year 12 student plans to go to university, but to get in, she'll use a portfolio and interview process rather than an ATAR.
I've been really lucky to be able to get lots of experience outside of school, which has really shaped who I've become and what I've decided I want to do.
88% of Year 10s here go on to Year 12 in the program.
I think we definitely have a higher retention rate because students are really invested in their learning. It's personalised, they've planned it.
It would be beneficial for people to know that you can learn in so many more ways than just sitting in a classroom.
While Big Picture wouldn't work for all students, Professor Pasi Sahlberg believes Tasmania could take advantage of its small size to create an education system that's tailored to its unique student population.
That they could experiment and try different ways of responding to these challenges and questions about attendance, for example, or achievement, by trying to do different things rather than imitating what the larger states or other systems or other countries overseas are doing.
Riley Kennedy is hoping his time in a classroom will soon come to an end, but that his educational journey will continue for a long time.
As much as I don't like school, I do believe it's needed. Whether it's needed in the way that it is or whether it should change its ways, it's all up to what works for the person, because not everyone fits into that box.